A Day on the Focus, with Anne. Hello, history buffs and casual listeners alike. Welcome to another exciting episode, where we dive into the annals of time and uncover the juicy bits of January 7th. Buckle up, buttercups, because today's date has seen some serious action. We're talking everything from Roman drama to interplanetary probes. First up, way back in 49 BC, Caesar's got some trouble brewing. The Roman Senate, feeling rather bold, tells him to disband his army or face being declared a public enemy. Talk about a Monday morning meeting gone wrong. The tribunes supporting Caesar, wisely choosing life over paperwork, hightail it to Ravenna where Caesar was waiting. Classic power play, right? Fast forward a bit, and we're in 1558. Boo-hoo, England. The French, led by the Duke of Guise, sounds like a villain from a cheesy movie, doesn't it? Snatch Calais. That's it, the last English possession on the continent. Ouch! Then, a little bit later, minus 1610, Galileo Galilei, that cool dude, catches a glimpse of Jupiter's moons, Ganymede, Callisto, Io, and Europa. He didn't manage to spot the last two until the next day, though. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess, even when you're discovering celestial bodies. Speaking of celestial bodies, let's jump to 1785. Jean-Pierre Blanchard and John Jeffries, a French-American team, take the first hot air balloon trip across the English Channel. From Dover to Calais, talk about a commute, though I wonder how many TSA checks they had to go through back then. And if you're a fan of aviation mishaps, let's talk 1948. A Kentucky Air National Guard pilot, chasing what he thought was a UFO, crashes. Now, whether that was actually a UFO or just a really shiny weather balloon is up for debate. Still pretty suspenseful, right? 1950 brings another aviation tragedy. The Sverdlovsk air disaster wipes out almost the entire Soviet Air Force ice hockey team. Talk about a terrible team bonding experience. On a more uplifting note, 1955 sees Marian Anderson making history as the first black person to perform at the Met Opera. A huge step forward for representation. Then, we've got some political shenanigans in 1973. In New Orleans, one Mark Essex goes on a second shooting spree in the same week. 7 people dead. Not good. And in the modern era, let's not forget January 7, 2021, when the U.S. Congress finally certifies Joe Biden's election victory. Phew, what a day. Now, for our creative story connecting these events, imagine Galileo, slightly annoyed at his blurry vision and the lack of decent coffee in 17th century Italy, gets a time-traveling hot air balloon ride. He lands smack dab in the middle of the 2021 U.S. Congress certification. He's absolutely gobsmacked by the scene, completely unable to comprehend the political squabbles, thinking it's all some elaborate theatrical performance of ancient Roman Senate drama, but even more convoluted. He mistakes the shouting lawmakers for disgruntled citizens trying to storm the Capitol. Then, noticing the large television screens, he thinks there's some kind of sophisticated version of his telescope showing Jupiter's moons. But in this case, political moons are a lot more confusing. And by the end of the day, still slightly jet-lagged and overwhelmed by the sheer amount of yelling, he gets back in his hot air balloon to return to his era, only to have a near miss with a UFO, proving that time traveling isn't necessarily safer than standard hot air ballooning. And that, my friends, wraps up today's journey through history. Join me tomorrow for more fascinating facts and even more improbable stories. Until then, keep exploring.